So I went to Vancouver for the mountains, the inland passage, whales, wildlife. But what I ended up watching when I was there taught me a lot about the city and built a basis for me to meet people and talk knowledgeably about this environment. And this is not what you see in the tourist brochures, but looking deeply into the economy of what you're seeing around you is something that I've learned and will share. So these people in the airport picking up their bags, they're probably thinking about their travels and their destinations, but what they end up doing is standing in line. They're waiting to get on a boat. They're waiting to get into a hotel, wondering why their room won't be available to them until 4 o'clock because people are cleaning up from the night before. And these ships are huge, but the real clue is in the background. Who built those tall buildings? Where did that investment come from? What drives the economy of this region? And the clue is hiding right on the bay. The ships are not scenery. They will tell you what's going on. And even as I leave town and that bridge, the Lions Gate, filled with traffic going from one end of the city to the other. Those clues give us an idea of what's happening. Seaplanes were carrying commuters over to Vancouver Island and back. Ferries were taking commuters from one end of North Vancouver to the city center. And that Lionsgate Bridge was just filled with traffic going between the two parts of the city. But the oil tankers really caught my attention. The frequency of their travel into the harbor, how they were loaded when they left, made me wonder what was going on. And the cargo ships were filled with containers, and that made me find that there's a 700-mile oil pipeline that goes to Vancouver from the Great Central Basin of Canada in Alberta, Saskatchewan, where oil and gas is produced. And Vancouver is an outlet, a place where inland Canadian oil finally reaches the sea. And we saw them lined up outside the harbor. Vancouver's boomed with high-rise apartments and elegant homes, but it's not tourism that built that. It's container ships, the trains, the trucking, and oil. And the region here generates about 9% of Canada's total GDP. And that's third behind Toronto, which is about 20%, and Montreal, around 10%. The harbor traffic is the visible evidence of an economy, and most visitors never read what's right in front of them. I learned this from my uncle, who had a house overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge, and he was a lawyer for oil companies who kept the daily paper with the shipping schedule by his side at his armchair. And we would huddle in and talk to, where do you think that ship is coming from? What do you think it's carrying? And that one going out, where do you think it's going? And his voice shapes what I see when I look in the harbor now. The method is to look at what moves and to keep account. How many of these are coming in or going out? And then keep time. How many in an hour? How many in a minute? The patterns then come in, and that enables us to talk to people about the trade and the oil, not just the destinations we want to go to. And that ends up being able to talk about the quantity and the activity and what people's lives are like. And those conversations have opened up very interesting insights into how people live here and what's important to them. And those conversations build trust that I'll take with me as we go through up to Alaska